I am okay.
Окей. Я не проснулся.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
И чё?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Чего?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she...
Блин, мне нравится на самом деле эта игра, серьезно.
And then she turned and ran.
Но смысл, тот смысл, который типа в монолог этот тип заложен, пиздато. Мне нравится.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle
Это самая легкая концовка, наверное.
What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come.
На кавку похоже пиздец. Бля, я даже не знаю. Я так ненавижу вообще слово, вот это слово, вот это имя, блядь, эту фамилию, это отчество, Кавка, бля, как Кавка. Столько пёс зафорсил эту хуету в то время, что, блядь, аж блевотно как-то было. Легкая концовка. Сразу Питером воняет, да, сука, пиздец.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Погодите. Есть идея. Можно как-то забраться туда? Сейчас. По сути, вот. На коробках бы можно было забраться наверх. О, ебать! Во!
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Are you sick of this gag? No.
Ah, then in that case we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea, but
я не подпрыгивал, я просто шел вперед, и меня запихало наверх.
Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other options so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Меня не тошнит от этого голоса. Бля, это охуенный голос на самом деле, мне он очень нравится. Че, я могу уйти? А он меня здесь оставил, сука ебаная. Вот тварь ебаная, а не человек. Был бы ты, блядь, человеком, нахуй, сука пиндоска. Твою, блядь. Тут душку где-то ебут там. Давайте сначала. А у меня нахуй. 435 раз. Раз, два, три, 4, 5. Чё-то я стучу уже больше, и я нихуя не замечаю. 2, 3, 4, 5. Раз, два, 3. Он меня наебал, что ли? 5. Не. О, компик выключился. И этот выключился. Компы все повыключаю сейчас, может что произойдет. Чего? О, я и сюда забрался. Зацените. Случайно. Input ресивит. Что тут нужно сделать? Все компы вырубил, кроме этого. Этот не выключается. А го направо. Бля, хотя, сука, так не хочется направо идти на самом деле. Может тут что-то можно сделать? Тут куда-то забраться. Проходи игру по мере прохождения она заполнится. Понятно. Тут, кстати, почему-то нету номера. На всех дверях был номер вроде. Только на тех, на которых просто проход, то там нет. Ладно.
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Здесь мы уже были. Че, погнали наверх?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Сейчас для начала проверю, комп выключен. На диванчике никого, а здесь сюда не пройти, даже если раз 5. Давай, скулинг.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held?
Пароль нужно попробовать найти.
What he could not have known.
Только не спойлерить, плиз.
Behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Он мне сам заспойлерил. Ну ладно, предположим, я не знаю пароль.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. 2845.
А пароль-то, блядь, какой?
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Ой. 2845.
Stanley simply began entering random codes into the keypad, knowing full well the sheer statistical unlikelihood that this would ever result in a correct combination. If he knew that the combo was 2845, it would be another story entirely. But no, this is what he was going to do instead.
Окей. Время прогуляться по долине смерти. О, это что такое? Что? Это еще одна секретка? Тут просто нихуя не видно. Мне фонарик сюда. Ладно. Ну там, как будто там что-то можно было сделать в самом деле. Нет, не хоррор.
Deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Выбор есть, чуваки. Че, налево или вперед пойдем? Mind Control. Я не уверен, то что, бля, тут написано Escape. Налево не хожу. Люблю ходить направо. Я, блядь, вам не изменщик какой-нибудь. Так, нажимаем.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Какое огромное здание, казалось бы.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen.
Ни одной живой души, никого не было.
Eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated?
Ну, некоторые, кстати, мониторы, они не работают. Вон там кто-то уволен вообще. На 104 чувак уволен. Еще где-то там уволен.
No. He refused to believe
104 надо запомнить.
Accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Он или off? Русская озвучка есть, но она хуёвая. Давайте он попробуем.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires.
Что я, блядь, должен делать? Ой, блядь, у меня слишком маленький мозг для такой хуйни. Троечка, троечка, раз, два. А где 3? Ёбаный в рот. Троечка, троечка, троечка. Троечка наверху, наверное, там 4. Троечка, 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 троечка. Там 5. Троечка. Я же нажал, блядь, троечку. Что нужно делать? Я нажал на 3, ебать, что ему надо? Троечка не работает. Возможно, есть какая-то другая троечка. Это 10. На стене код, на стене код, на какой стене код? 5. Есть. Что, блять? 0521, куда этот код вводить? 0, а где я 0 найду? 0521 везде.
Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right
0, 0, 0, 0. Там не 0, там 4, 0, 5. 0, 5. Может, нужно без нуля. Просто 5, 2, 1, 4, 5, 2, 1, 4. Обнулим. 5, 2, 1, 4. 5.
Or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? 1 solved?
2.
Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you.
4?
That timer isn't a catalyst.
Сука, нет, это неправильно. Хорошо, а что он от меня хочет? Нуля нету нигде.
To see you made humble. This is not a challenge, it's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it.
Я видел на одной... Ой.
So you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle.
Нуля вообще нигде нету. Где-то 0, короче, он спрятан, скорее всего. 10. Это не 0 ли случаем, это G. Это 0? Я не вижу, блядь, остановись, это 10. Да в смысле, блядь, затуп, ёпта. 4, 2, 7. Там 7 не было.
This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted.
Может, тут кликать именно надо, а не на Е нажимать? Ничего не происходит. Я кликаю, не получается. Enter remove. Да я шарю за это. Я не хочу как-то хакать. Мне интересно так. Так, попробуем эту хуету. Компик почему-то в этот раз, кстати, не включен. Может, мне нужно что-то повыключать? А, вот. Еще 3 попытки у меня примерно. Долбить дверь. Да дохуя я долбил, бля. Да, написано 5 раз надо долбить. Здорово.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door and this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
В этот раз справа посмотрим, что есть вообще.
Wow.
Опять.
Yes.
Пицца.
Здорово, Юра. Недавно расстался со своей тёлкой. У тебя есть кто?
Здорово, да, есть. Рука. Так, бегу налево, короче.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Не понял. Ебать, тут левел дизайн неплохой довольно. Ой, это я не туда. Вы помните, я выебывался, что там дверь, почему-то на ней цифрок не было. Это она. Стоп, а как я туда вообще попал?
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Это пройденная концовка. Бля, меня налево повернул.
But Stanley just couldn't do it.
Давайте в начало.
He considered the possibility of all of his co-workers were. Wait, no, this isn't the right office, is it? Is it Stanley's office?
Может, сейчас получится? Чё-то я в этот раз не вижу этот мониторчик, кстати, который нужно закликать. Видимо, его нету в этот раз. Или что?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door.
Направо.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
В левел другой переместили. Лол.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left. Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Блять, я концовку проебал. Надо было сразу налево пойти. Блять.
Why would I have ever said it was to the right?
И направо можно концовку выбить.
It's clearly. Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Короче, пизда тебе. Вот сейчас эту дверь, блядь. Кажется.
Let's see, we went down, right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Сюда, значит. Сучара. Не смог бы, да?
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay. From the top.
Сука, заборол концовку, значит, да?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Он мне не дают компик, чтобы, блять, вставить туда этот кей. Вот сука. Куда он дел компик? Попробуй, когда будет выбор направо и лево, тупо АФК встать. Бля, давай.
Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Все знают, что ты сделал, они просто... Чего, блять? Я не переводчик.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Сука, я опять запорол, что ли?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Блять.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Интересно, что же мы пропустили. А, это что за дверь? Почему? 4Б3.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps. Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time, I have to restart.
Опять резетно. Сучара.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Она ведет меня не туда, куда надо.
No, I'm down. We're leaving it up to the line from now on.
Что ж, ладно. Только компы выключу. Блядь, что-то... Я могу туда попасть как-то? Там пассианс или что это? Я просто карточный гений. Если тут дверь открыть. Она не открывается, но я здесь был.
You see, the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Почему-то здесь замылено, кстати. Ну вы поняли. Отсылочка. Сложно. Так, обратно. С какого хуя? Я запутался. Как я вернусь теперь?
Cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Что? Я вернулся обратно. Окей. Все нормально.
Oh, no, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart. You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story?
Бля, это охуенно на самом деле. Я забыл, какая пиздатая эта игра.
This all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction? Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Порталы клёво Мы вернулись. Что ж. Хуёво. Сейчас обратно пойдем. О.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine. Ah, a choice.
Oh.
We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
А? Что это?
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime...
Сука. Заскримили. Вроде все, концовка это закончилась. Теперь я могу компик нажимать. Да-да-да, ты красивая. Ну таких, как ты, да-да-да. Опа. Уп.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to
Без понятия, в чем профит отключать компы, если честно.
Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time understood true, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Ведьмака. Ну, если хочешь, можешь знать, в принципе, на Ведьмака. Че, он там стоит как раз таки где-то 800 рублей. Я могу размутить. Ну, если вы хотите, я могу заплеить. Но, бля... Честно скажу, я не фанат Ведьмака. Совсем причем не фанат Ведьмака. Короче, сейчас есть идея.
Look,
Сейчас
Stanley,
покажу.
I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley.
Опа!
Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. A 1? I mean, I can understand if you had reservations, you saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and artistically, but a 1? That's not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that? But I guess it isn't my place to judge. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look. Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Бля, очень приятный звук такой. Если ставишь Youranus, самый приятный звук, который можно будет сделать. Боже. Было бы пиздато, если мне забанили Twitch за то, что этот младенец просто выбегает в этот костер за жестокое обращение. Ты смотри, картонка. Немного подгорел, я его, блядь, подрумянил, мальца. Я даже не знаю, стоит ли мне на это потратить 4 часа или нет. 3 часа 5 минут? Блять. Бля. Может, все-таки на ютубе концовку просто посмотрим. Сами будущего зрителя. Но если представить то, что это саб, ради него, то я готов 4 часа просто вот так вот хуярить.
Пицца.
Если любишь, отпусти.
Пицца.
Вот так дети умирают беглетом. Сначала ты засыпаешь, а потом он сгорает в огне, убийца убит.
Пицца.
Мало кто знает, но этот ребенок Гитлер. Юра, спаси мир, все в твоих руках.
Да я выложил на этого ребенка, просто по кайфу кнопку нажимаю.
Пицца.
Юра, это я младенец, когда арма раст. Чё расстался Савдич? Стримы с Ромой Азазином будут.
Сука, ты меня не приведешь, нахуй, младенец не может унать.
Пицца.
Если завалишь малого, то он тебе даст игру получше, в разы лучше, не пожалеешь.
Бля, очень хотелось бы, чтобы сейчас смотрел в мое окно снайпер и, блядь, реально, вот чтобы он просто взял вот еще 5 минут и выстрелил мне в голову как-то нахуй с окна. Что, блядь, кто-то мне заказал через Darknet, блядь, за 1 биткоин. Я бы меня просто нахуй убил. У меня есть жопа, я ее вообще ненавижу, если честно. Вот ты на нее смотришь и думаешь, блядь, что за уродливая волосатая хуйня. Ты типа втыкаешь вот на эту хуйту, да? Она, блядь, на стримах светится, там, думает, типа, самая умная. На самом деле просто дырка ебаная. Просто ебаная дырка, блядь. То, что она делает, это просто сырье, блядь. Она сырет, блядь. Думает, делает контент. Но на самом деле она просто сырет.
Пицца.
Сделай совместный стрим с Денисом Шмальцем, где при каждом нажатии кнопки он будет говорить Аллах.
Я могу заредактировать эту карту. И, блядь, ребенок будет говорить все, что я захочу, и собака. 3, 4. Раз, 2, 3, 4. О. Что это было? Я в раю? Полтекст проживалось. Чуть. А.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure.
В пизду. Уф. Ладно, чуваки. Пойду я спать, и вам тоже советую пойти поспать. Спасибо, что приходили. Да. Увидимся послезавтра. Надеюсь.